Do you have a philosophy, an operating philosophy,
Sure.
that you live by or that you operate by when you're in the confines of your school and you're teaching your students?
Yeah. Well, I would say, never go looking for a fight, and always be respectful of people. Everyone is equal. We're all good people naturally, and I feel, one of the philosophies I like to bestow with the students is, always protect your assets, which is your family, your friends, and your loved ones. And sometimes, when it comes down to it, you might have to protect them and protect yourself. People sometimes, turn the blind eye. That it's not going to happen to me. It might. Hopefully, it doesn't. But a physical encounter, I'm talking about, on the street. But I want, my philosophies are: be a good person, work hard, learn some critical thinking skills, learn how to look at things in a different way, logically, and develop. When you train in this style and train in martial arts in general, you start to see things in a different light.
Are your philosophies similar to the philosophies that American Kempo is built on, or have you expanded upon those?
The philosophies of American Kempo are to think logically and practically, okay, and make sense and ask questions, knowing the whys of why you're doing things, not just doing them, throwing a punch, but why are you throwing a punch? How do I create a little more power? So you learn to think and dissect, and that helps out with work, with life. You don't just accept the first answer. Well, you want to try to figure out the whys behind it. A lot of the philosophies at the school I take from my experiences, obviously including the experiences of people who have done this for years, but also I've had an extreme, tremendous athletic background. So I want to take those things from those areas and bring it into the martial arts and self-defense as well.
That's an interesting point you make. I wanted to get back to this a little bit with you. Yeah. If I'm a parent and I'm watching this interview right now and I'm listening to you,
sure.
I have a youngster and I want to get my youngster involved in your school.
Yeah.
Do I have to be fearful that maybe there are some bullies there who are just learning, who are just going there in order to beat up other kids? Or how do you deal with that concept? Because a lot of people, I think when it comes to karate, they have a misperception that, oh, well, they're just learning how to, enhance their bullying skills when they get into school. And clearly, everybody who I've ever known who's been involved with karate, whatever discipline it is within karate, within the martial arts, they say, no, it's not what we're about. Yeah. How do you deal with those kids coming through the door, maybe, and they think you're the greatest? You're their localized version of Jean-Claude Van Damme, and then they're saying, hey, I want to learn this so I can beat people up or beat kids up. Yeah. How do you deal with that?
Well, first of all,
that has to be a challenge for you as an instructor.
That's a question, and that's something that you always have to be conscious of as an instructor, and as having the responsibility of teaching these kids. I mean, they're skills that
huge responsibility,
very big responsibility. I'd be able to, the biggest thing for me is to, when people come into the studio, they're not punching bags. Okay, and I personally ensure that that's not the way we train. That's not the way the classes are run. Okay, we do have sparring classes, but they're controlled. Okay, they're set up in a way that it's not a free-for-all. One person might work on defense. One person might work on offense.
Gotcha.
Okay, so it's a controlled atmosphere. You learn, and one of the misconceptions is, that it's scary. You're going to come in, you're going to get hurt. I've never had a track injury of one injury in my training. Little minor, maybe a hurt toe every now and then.
Sure.
But never had any broken bones, knocked out teeth. It just...
Well, it's a contact sport. People have to be willing to accept the risk involved. It's the same as if you play hockey, football, basketball. You could go up for a rebound. You could get two teeth knocked out by an elbow.
I've gotten hurt more in team sports than I have in martial arts because we control our actions. We're not going all out. So you learn to, if I want to go an extra inch into, putting a little more power into a shot, I can. But we do make contact, but every action causes a reaction. So we do make light contact in class so we can get a reaction out of the person. And that's how it's a practical way to train. As far as to answer your question about, parents, what do I tell parents? I wouldn't be afraid. This is something where it develops a kid. I'm here. I care about the students. It's something that, I coach kids on this, in sports. And this is just another way to develop a youngster, to the proper, and to be an adult.
What's your take, and I'm going totally random now on you, but I'm just curious to listen to your perception, and I think a lot of our viewers would be too. What's your take on mixed martial arts fighting and extreme fighting is that some people tell me it's fake, some people tell me it's real, some people tell me punches are being pulled, some people tell me, no, absolutely not, because guys get mangled.
Yeah.
What's your take?
It has merit. It definitely has merit. It's a different lifestyle than the average person. Okay, when you train in mixed martial arts, now you're going from a street to a sport. Okay, it's contained. There's time limits. There's rules, and you have to pretty much give up your life to train. Okay, and it's an atmosphere where I don't recommend it for youths because there's no philosophies typically behind it. It's all fighting and just techniques. There's no answering the question of why you're doing this, okay? Do you know how to contain yourself if this ever happened on the street? Because there are consequences to doing things out in the environment, okay?
Called getting arrested.
Right. So I don't think the mixed martial arts necessarily has that. Some schools might, and that's great if they do. It's exciting to watch, put it that way. I like watching it on TV. It's the new boxing, and it's very popular.
Who are some of your favorites?
I like the guys that can bring a traditional flow, more of a systematic type approach to the fighting, not just a ballroom brawl.
So the guys who maybe have studied like American Kempo or another form of karate.
Taking a self-defense street form and rearranging it and applying it to a sport arena. That's pretty neat to watch.
A typical class for you, because you're an instructor. If I'm coming into your class, I really want to get back on this, and we have to kind of start winding down now. But what's a typical class if somebody comes in and how long does it go? Does it go for an hour, 90 minutes, 30 minutes? And what do you do from point A, B, C, D?
Sure.
Can you talk us through that?
Absolutely. The adult class breaks down, it's an hour-long class, and it's 3 times a week. Going to be adding a third class coming in the month of July. The class breaks down, we start off with basics. Okay, basics are the foundation of your Kempo, of your martial arts. If your basics aren't good, then your martial arts aren't going to be good later on. It's like a foundation to a house. If you have a cracked foundation, your house will topple over.
Great analogy.
You have to build up, okay, and it's not overnight. So we practice our basics every time. I'm a stickler for that because when your basics are good, things are going to come easier to you later on, and you're going to be, wow, that's a crisp martial artist. He looks good. And you see that in seminars when you go around and like, oh, this guy trains under Mike Gauthier. This guy trains under Mr. Leo Lacerte, who's my instructor, and they know that and they can see that. So after a good, say 25 minutes of basics, we'll go around and we'll teach either a self-defense technique, which each belt has a syllabus of techniques that are taught, or sets and forms, and we do that. So after that, we'll have a questions and answer, and we'll work a line. Basically, a line is everyone gets to practice their techniques in a caterpillar-type motion, so everyone gets opportunity to work what they just learned. And from there, we'll have any questions and answers, and we'll send them their way, and we'll come back for the next class.
Is Dana one of your best students? I hear she's a killer.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard Dana is, but still haven't had her yet down at the studio, but we'd love to have her.
Mike, tell us, once again, look into that camera and tell us the location of your studio, the phone number, and your website address, please. Sure,
yep. The name of the studio is Gauthier's Martial Arts Academy, and the website is www.gauthieracademy.com. Phone number 508-451-5169. So feel free to give me a call or to shoot me an email, and we'll get you set up.
Mike, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for coming on Danvers Business Leaders. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And thank you all for watching.